Hey everyone, Hassan here. You are listening to the NintendoFuse Podcast. Today is February 23rd, 2015, and this is episode number 112 entitled Out with the Old, In with the New 3DS. So we have a couple different things to discuss tonight. Obviously, new 3DS is a big topic, among other things. And here to discuss it with us, we have Steve.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We have Greg.
Hi, everyone.
And Barry.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So we will be discussing all the latest Nintendo releases, and this podcast here, if for anybody new joining us, we like to make this very interactive because that makes it more entertaining as well. And so there's many different ways that you can join in and participate. So if you were listening in, head to NintendoFuse.com and you have the full details on how to participate. But basically, we do the podcast through TalkShoe, and that lets people call into the podcast live, so you're able to do that as well. So, if you head to NintendoFuse.com, you'll see the phone number and the details on how to call into the podcast live as well. Or, alternatively, I can talk, we have a Google Hangout stream, and you can basically chat in the YouTube box. So I want to give a shout-out to a couple of people in the chat room there. So shout-out to Harsimmer Sohi, Vishu Salwan, Make 11. Anybody else? I think that's everybody there. So shout out to you all, and if anybody else joins in the chat, we'll give you guys a shout out also. So as we're discussing things, post your comments, and we'll mention them on the show. So today we have a couple different things we're going to talk about. First up, we're going to kind of talk about the new 3DS a bit more, new 3DS XL. We're going to talk about some of the new games that have released recently, Majora's Mask 3D, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, etc. And then lastly, we're going to talk Amiibo. So first things first, new 3DS XL. Who got it? Who has a new 3DS XL?
Me.
Right there. Oh, it's still in 3D. I've been playing a lot more in 3D, and so sometimes when I open it, it still catches me off guard. I was like, oh, right, 3D.
Nice. So what kind, like what colors did you all get?
I got the black one. Yep. Which is not really black. They call it new black and new red. It's not really black. It's more of a really dark gray, which I don't know if you can tell on camera or not. But it's closer to like a graphite gray color, which it's nice. It's got kind of like almost like a checkerboard, like teeny tiny little checkerboard sort of pattern on it. You can't really even. You can barely even tell it, just only in certain light. But yeah, you could probably see all my fingerprints on it because it is a glossy finish.
For those of you out there, by the way, who are thinking about getting the new 3DS and wanted the Majora's Mask one that is sold out, if you get the collector's edition of the guide, the hardcover guide, it comes with actual faceplate clips of Majora's Mask for the new 3DS XL, so you can quasi-turn yours into a Majora's Mask one.
That's pretty cool. Interesting. So I guess impressions then. I know I've talked about the new 3DS that I have, which apparently will not release in the US, or maybe it will eventually. But the new 3DS XL, now that you guys have it, like, what are your thoughts? I know, Steve, you mentioned the 3D. You've been using that a lot more?
I have, yeah. I was actually just playing right before we started, and I pretty much have it turned up all the way, all the time, which is great because there's a lot of games that I've been going back to. I don't know if you saw when I had it open. I had Animal Crossing open. It was the first time I played it in actually like 12 months. So I had all my animal neighbors telling me, "Hey, we haven't seen you in 12 months." Like, oh right, yeah, it's been an entire year since I've opened this game. Yeah, I've been playing that one, Star Fox, and some other great games that I've already had, and I had kind of moved on since then. But now I can go back to them, and I've been playing them again because now I can actually get the full, third dimension, and because the 3D doesn't go out, just every time I move it, which is really cool in games like Star Fox, because of I move around a lot when I'm like in flying games or racing games and stuff like that, just because of the nature of the game. And so it's great that it doesn't go, out every small little movement.
Gotcha. What about you guys, Greg and Barry? Any thoughts on the improved 3D? Have you been using that a lot more?
I definitely say I did try it out because I haven't really been using it because I'm always a sucker for the one that has a drain for the battery life, so I try to preserve it as much as I can. But I did try it out with like Majora's Mask 3D that I picked up on the same day as the new 3DS, and I am really enjoying it. It's like being able to at least see the 3D a lot and have it last even longer too. I know there's at least a slightly extended battery life, so I have been playing it with a little bit more with it on, but now I've been kind of turning it back down so I don't keep killing the battery. One of the downsides of the new 3DS is it didn't come with a charger cable, so I took Steve's advice and got a USB cord, but when I use that to charge it, it takes like 12 hours, so I'm not keen on having it empty all the way out because it seems like it'll be a tremendously longer recharge time.
Gotcha. Barry, have you been using the improved 3D?
Yeah. Now that I've got it out, it's I didn't think I was going to use the 3D as much as I actually have, which is like Steve said. You know, I got a big backlog of games that I've already completed that now I kind of want to go back, and hopefully within the next few weeks I'll be able to do that. I did mess around a little bit with Majora's Mask after reviewing it, and I definitely noticed a difference between the original XL and the new XL. And I was a little, like most people, when they first announced it, was upset with the C nub. I really wanted another Circle Pad because the Circle Pad Pro worked so well. But I really like the C nub. Like, it's so like precise, and it does real wonders. And I'm kind of curious why they didn't include that in the beginning because it's so awesome, and I hope more games use that.
Yeah. What other games, like, what have you tried with the little Circle Pad nub?
I've done Majora's Mask. I've done Resident Evil Revelations. I went back and tried that out. I haven't gotten into Monster Hunter 4 or Ace Combat Plus yet, mainly because I just finished Majora's Mask and now I've got Kirby. So it's no time, but I do want to try that out with other games too.
Yeah, I think the only one that I've actually played that I really actually used it was Smash Brothers. I want to go and actually download, like I never did, even though I have a Circle Pad Plus or whatever for my 3DS XL. I never downloaded Nano Assault EX for 3DS, and I know that uses it, and I really wanted to. So I might actually finally make that jump and go and download that because I'm pretty excited about it. But the other games that I've tried it with aren't, like, they're just moving camera around, and like in Ace Combat in my review, I mean it's cool that you can do that, but I hardly ever will use it in the actual game. Like I said, Smash Brothers is pretty much the only one that really was helpful because it was, you know, functioned as your smash attacks. But I think yeah, that's pretty much the only one that I've used it with that really helped.
Gotcha. Speaking of Smash Brothers with the new 3DS, isn't it awesome how fast the game loads up now, like normal, rather than having to wait forever?
It's true. I was actually just thinking that because I was emptying my street passes today from a lot of different games, and I was so, not only Smash Brothers, was just all the games just loading up so quick and being able to go in and out of things. It was great because a lot of times I would only load up Smash Brothers if I knew I was really going to be playing it for an extended period of time. Before it wasn't something I would just jump into and jump out because of the load time. And now it's so fast that I've found myself actually booting it up a whole lot more than I normally did.
Yeah, I think the last time we all played together, back in late November, was the last time I actually used Smash Brothers in the 3DS because I just felt like I was breaking my 3DS the more I played it. Like, I just felt the thing like chugging, and I just didn't want it to crap out on me.
Right.
Yeah, I still need to load up mine to download the update and everything. I haven't started up Smash Brothers yet for a couple months now.
Right. Well, at least on the new 3DS, all the updates and everything will download faster, hopefully. So at least you won't have to wait as long for certain things. That's definitely nice about the system. It definitely feels more like fluid. Like it feels like this is how it should have worked in a way. Like it's very responsive and definitely a nice thing about the new system. The other thing with the new 3DS XL is the NFC support and being able to use Amiibo. So we'll talk about Amiibo more in detail later. But as far as using it on new 3DS, have you guys used it Amiibo in Smash Brothers on 3DS or other games?
There we go. I just used it in Smash Brothers today for the first time, and it was nice. It was cool to just be able to bring my Yoshi that I had, made over on the Wii U game into my 3DS one. So that was pretty cool to be able to do that and customize them more and play with them more. I'd already leveled them up to max, but it was nice to just to play with him again, even though I didn't originally make him on the 3DS. And then I used him, all the Amiibo that I had at the current time when I was playing through Ace Combat. I scanned them all in to get the custom Nintendo aircraft and that. But that's really the only two games that I have currently that work with them. So it's cool. It works incredibly fast and easy, just like it does on the Wii U. So. Yeah,
I think those are the only two games released right now for the 3DS that use Amiibo, actually.
Right. The cool thing for me, I didn't expect it to be honest, was I thought that you'd be able to take the Wii U, Amiibo that you use for Smash Brothers, and put that on the 3DS game, but not customize the moves or something. Like I thought you'd just be able to use the character. But like, there's certain custom moves that I didn't have on the Wii U version, but I did on the 3DS one. So I had an already customized character, brought it to 3DS, and customized it further and everything. So definitely very handy being able to use NFC on the 3DS on the go. And for leveling up my Amiibo, every now and then, like before bed, I'll get a couple games of Smash on my 3DS and just use some Amiibo in there. It's pretty quick and easy to do, which is definitely nice with the new 3DS. Are any of you guys still have you still processed the? I'm still kind of surprised the fact that they didn't release the new 3DS and just the 3DS XL. Like any further thoughts on possibilities for why that is, or?
They stated why. They said that they didn't want to confuse the consumer base by putting out too many systems. So now they have the 2DS, the 3DS, and the new 3DS XL. That's their reasoning. I think they think Americans are stupid. It's going back to the 80s when they didn't think we could handle RPGs and we got dubbed down stuff, because that's all it is. It's stupid.
I actually heard that. Go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to jump in really quick. I don't think they really think that we're stupid. I think that there are a lot of pretty dumb people out there, because this is why they ran into this huge Wii versus Wii U name, and it's like you have to actually put the Wii U on the box, and does the gamepad play with the Wii? Does the Wii U games play on Wii? I mean, people can't seem to understand that it doesn't go like that, and obviously it's probably an information thing, or maybe it's just the likeness of the name. So when they chose the name New 3DS, I mean, I don't know what they were expecting. I mean, go to the store. I want a new 3DS. Okay, here's one. Does it say new on the box? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, Greg. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's dumb. The naming is just dumb. They didn't learn anything from the Wii U at all. But I'd actually heard that it had nothing to do with thinking that we're stupid or anything like that, but it had to do more with the fact that they just thought the XL had a better chance of selling in the U.S. market, because they've looked at the patterns of the original and the XL, and they knew that the XL sold better for both that and the DSi as well, and so they basically just said, hey, we're going to cut our save our money and just put where we really think the market really is on the XL, and that's why they've done it. I don't know if that's smart. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's what I heard actually. That it had nothing to do with thinking that we would get confused or anything, because that's just dumb if that's the case, because the name itself is stupid. But I think I would understand more if they would say, I think in the U.S. market they're just going to like the bigger screens, and so that's what we're only going to release the XL there.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I've heard, and it's all hearsay at this point because everyone's getting different sources and all that. But if what you say, Steve, is the actual reason, one thing I think they could do to alleviate, because I know they've gotten some backlash, is to at least let the original or the new 3DS non-XL version, that sounds really confusing to say, be sold on Nintendo.com and just do like a web sale. And this way the people who are in the US that want it can at least order it, as opposed to being told, nope, you're SOL, that's too bad, buy the XL or don't buy anything.
Right. It'd be nice if they weren't region locked. You could just import it and not have to worry about it. But that's not the case. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of region lock, you can't even import.
Right.
Or you can import it and you're stuck playing Japanese games.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean.
I mean, they can sell these cover plates and make some money from those too. So if they're worried about costs and I don't know. It still doesn't fully make sense to me. But I still don't have a new 3DS XL, an American one, yet, because I'm waiting on like a blue color or something. So I'm still this is my new 3DS currently of choice, but we'll wait and see what happens there. If anybody in the chat room actually has a new 3DS XL as well, post some comments. Let us know what you think, and we'll mention them on the chat room. Harman Sohi says Majora's Mask was an amazing game. So let's actually talk about that now. So alongside the new 3DS XL, we got a couple games that were released, one of which was a remake of Majora's Mask. It was Majora's Mask 3D, and that is out now. Yeah, so who got it? Barry looks like he's got something right there. Oh, look at that. If you're not watching the Google Hangout, you're just listening on TalkShoe, you're missing out.
Those are the release games with it, Monster Hunter and Majora's Mask. And I haven't even gotten into them yet. Thank you. Too many good games out at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
You don't really hear that in February. That's more like a November quote.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's so weird how it's just, I don't know, just Nintendo is just so weird about the releases, so many things at once. But Majora's Mask 3D, so Barry got it. Greg, Steve, did you guys pick it up?
I did.
Not.
Gotcha. Have you played it, Greg?
I have. That's what I'm currently playing through. I'm not very far through it yet, but I beat the first temple again, and I've been doing some of all those mini games and finding heart pieces. I get distracted pretty easily when I'm trying to complete stuff.
There's a lot to the game. There's a lot you can get distracted on.
And I've never actually owned the N64 cartridge. I only had the disc for GameCube that had all 4 of them on it, and that was the only time I had played Majora's Mask. So this is actually my second playthrough, so I barely really remember anything about the game.
The nice thing about it is, even though there's a time limit, it's also a slow game in the sense that you can really take your time and just spend several day cycles just in Clocktown, talking to the different townspeople, finding out their schedule, figuring out where to go, what to do for heart pieces. And once you get a mask or something, then you get to try it on all the NPCs to see what affects. And it's just, there's a lot to the game, so it's easy to get lost in a sense.
Yeah, I just did a number of the 3-day things. I love that new Bomber's Notebook thing that keeps track of everything. That's a godsend. I didn't remember that the first time around, but it's pretty cool how it shows the schedules. And then I showed that I had to do the 3-day challenge for the Darling game or whatever in the plaza, and then also the Deku Flower challenge thing. I did that on all 3 days as well at the same time. So I'm just doing some multitasking, playing through a lot of the mini games.
You know what's funny about that? I did that the first cycle when you're stuck as a Deku because I remembered it, but I didn't realize you could push R to look down. So I did it on all 3 days without doing that trick. Not even a trick, just using the controls right. And because of the 3D, I was able to do it. But yeah, if you haven't done it yet, hold R when you're flying. You can look downwards.
I did that in the temple, but it didn't strike me to do it during the game. It would have saved me a lot of rupees.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, see, that's
so
another.
how's the actual like 3D and everything in the game?
Oh, it's
Very
fantastic. I love it. Like, I was looking up at the moon and everything, and like it looks so real and everything that's come down. I think it's really cool. I really love how the effects are used in games like this, like in Mario 3D Land and some of the other ones. Like, you can really see the environment like very clearly with 3D.
Yeah, it's. I strained my eyes at points just to keep playing with it on the original XL, and I wish I could have played through the entire game that way. But it's definitely worth. If you have the new 3DS XL, you keep it on all the time. If you don't, at least use it to look around the environment, and definitely when doing certain puzzles like that Deku challenge, it'll certainly help with the depth.
Gotcha.
Did you guys play the Ocarina of Time 3D?
Yes.
So in terms of
I did, yeah.
comparison, because I have that, did the review on that and everything, but I have not picked up Majora's Mask 3D. Do you think is it pretty comparable in terms of the update, or they do a better job on one or the other, or is it even, can you even compare that or not?
I think Majora's Mask has better 3D, and I think it's because they had more time with it. Ocarina of Time, they were really kind of rushed to get it out the door. I mean, we don't know exactly how long they were working on it, but they still had a deadline. They needed to get it out as early in the 3DS's life cycle as possible. Majora's Mask, they've been working on for a while. I mean, they didn't even reveal it, until very, very late, where it was 3 months away from launch by the time they revealed it. So, I think the 3D personally had more of an impact on Majora's Mask. It definitely looked better, and I think the graphics overall were smoother too. Like, you could tell they worked with the engine and improved upon it.
I mean, I would agree with that because it also with that free-range camera. I mean, the Ocarina of Time 3D, I don't think it had that. It's not that I can remember.
I don't remember.
You are getting a lot more used to the 3D because you can have it like look up towards like the moon. You can look down at the ground. You can do a complete circle around the link to see what's behind you. I mean, it's fantastic. You can really see a lot with 3D. I don't know how much it compares to the regular version. I don't think that like the N64 card, I don't think it had anything like that with the free-range camera, but it was certainly a wonderful feature that they added to the game to make it more enjoyable.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Steve. I have Ocarina of Time 3D, but I don't have Majora's Mask, so I wasn't sure whether to pick it up or not. I think honestly for me, it's just I just don't have time, just because there's just so much else that's been released and so much else going on. So, but it does look very interesting.
I mean, it's not my favorite Zelda title either, so I just got it just to have it with the Ocarina of Time. I have a physical copy of that one, so I wanted the physical copy of Majora's Mask. So I thought they would look nice together in my case to have both games together.
Oh yeah. I'd have a Link Between Worlds there too.
I have that downloaded.
Not complete. You gotta have the Triforce. Come on.
So the other, so Majora's Mask 3D is out now, and somebody did a review on the site for that as well, right? That was Barry. So check out the review on NintendoFuse.com for Majora's Mask 3D. And then Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate was another game that released. I know, Barry, I saw you picked it up.
Yeah, I got it, but I haven't played it yet. And the person who did it was Alex, and he's not here.
Oh, gotcha. Did he already post his review as well, or is that
his review is live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you'll have that review on the site.
Hours into it. So.
Gotcha. Did anyone else pick up the game?
I got the demo, and I played that.
I did too. Hold on.
Day.
Oh yeah, I haven't even played it.
Yeah. That's all I really got. I mean, I was never. So I really enjoy the idea of Monster Hunter. Love it. I have 3 and or try, I guess, for Wii, and really like it. Played it quite a bit. But it was never a game that I was able to really jump in all the way, because it just requires so much time to just like do every little thing and be able to get all the the stuff and make your tools and all that other junk. It's just like so much time that you need to devote to it, and I've never had the time to really jump in all the way. So the times that I've had the most fun is when I do go online and play with a couple friends in the hunting parties, because that's really where I think the game shines. It's really cool when you do that. But I was like always the weakling of the hunting party because I haven't played that much, and so I was like, I'm sorry guys, I'm so bad, and I don't, hope I don't like slow you down, and that was pretty much all my experience with 3. So jumping into 4 Ultimate, at least the demo, it felt very similar to that. It was what I was used to. Nothing really seemed drastically different, I guess. But it looks good. It looks really good in 3D. That's another one I guess you can use the C-stick with, and so I was kind of moving around the camera, and that really helps in that game. Like, I don't know how you could play Monster Hunter without having some sort of camera control. I know it has it on the touch screen, but to be able to have the analog camera control in Monster Hunter is a necessity, I think. Because I'm always losing my way, and I'm always like facing the wrong direction and hitting, just air when I'm trying to strike the monster. Yeah, I think it looks cool. Probably won't get the whole thing, like the full game, unless like a lot of my friends get it, and then I'll like end up being suckered into getting it again, and like just be the weak one in the party again.
Yeah, the game looks very interesting. Yeah, what were you saying, Greg?
Yeah, I was just about to say I actually didn't even download the demo yet, even though I have the code for it. But I did play 3 Ultimate, and I imagine it's about the same thing. I mean, I had the 3DS and Wii U version to review for the site a couple years back, and like Steve said, it's just a major time commitment that I wasn't able to really meet. And then after a while, it felt like I wasn't really playing the game, because then you try to jump back in, and then you have to kind of remember what you're doing and where you're going, and it's just like a eternal struggle with time to be able to put into the game. But I'm also not usually one for a lot of live action, like the big, huge battle stuff too. I'm usually more turn-based for like strategy and stuff. But I mean, Legend of Zelda doesn't go quite to the extent of like Monster Hunter. You're not like fighting a boss for like 40 minutes and have to like have major like item management for like potions and healing items that are readily available to use.
Right. Yeah, Monster Hunter is always one of those series that like always seemed very interesting to me, but I don't know if I could ever fully get into it just because time, and I would probably be terrible at it and everything. But it's pretty cool that they released the special bundle for the new 3DS XL for Monster Hunter fans. So that's definitely a nice option that is out there if anybody is interested in the game, for sure. I want to give a couple more shout outs to people in the chat. Just want to say shout out to Evan Sugar and Roth Sathi. So thank you guys for joining us as well. So let's see what else we got here. Another game that actually released was for Wii U. We had Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and that's one that I actually did get, and I played through a little bit of it. And that game looks great in HD. It's definitely got a very cool look to it. And it's your typical Kirby game where the game itself is not too difficult, but if you want to like try and like get a lot of points and try and be completionist and that sort of thing, it can be kind of challenging. So that certainly was pretty neat, and lots of interesting game mechanics that they kind of used for the game. So it's you draw on the touchscreen and you draw your path for Kirby to kind of go along. And it's pretty neat, and it does have Amiibo support as well in case you wanted to get some like power up boosts and that sort of thing. Did any of you all get Kirby and the Rainbow Curse?
Yeah, I mean I have it. I'm playing it now. I'm playing for review, and I'm not terribly far in it. It's just so much is going on that I'm trying to just play when I can. And it does start to hurt my hand just having to keep the stylus the whole time. Like I go through like 2 levels and my hand's like crammed. I'm like, okay, need a break. But it's very reminiscent of Canvas Curse. If you played that, it's fun. It's definitely challenging at some points. I think the biggest thing was there's no guideline for the gold medal that at least I was able to see. Like some levels I would get 600 stars and I would get gold, and other levels I would get 600 stars and get silver. And I kind of wish there was at least a guideline I knew what to shoot for. Outside of that, I did notice, like, if you go for one of those gold chests in like one of the little rooms, the timed rooms, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Hassan, and you fail it, if you were to die, you come back at the starting, the start of that section, you could actually try it again. So if you have enough lives and you don't want to run through the entire stage again, you can just die. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely, The one other thing I will say is that it really sucks that you have to look at the gamepad, because it's nice in the gamepad, but it's gorgeous on the big screen. And you playing as Kirby, you do not get to experience that, and I think that really sucks.
Yeah, I think that was something we had talked about in our kind of when we were, maybe even in our last podcast about the upcoming games, and that was something I think we all kind of shared, that we're like, man, it's such a gorgeous game, but we're not gonna be able to see it, in its full HD claymation glory, I guess, because we're really staring at this gamepad, which is definitely less than HD. I've heard it still looks good, but not near as good as it would on your HD TV.
It's almost like a shock. Like, by the time you get to the end of the level, you've just been staring at that screen, and then you look up, and it's like, whoa. And I did Captain Toad, and I did the same thing. I played on the gamepad, and I looked at the gamepad the entire time. And I would look up, and it wasn't like that big of a deal, but the claymation just pops in HD, and it certainly looks a lot better.
Yeah, like I did a gaming video of it, and it's up on NintendoFuse.com. So I was on the gamepad, and I went back to watch it later, and I was like, wow, like this, in HD and everything really does look nice. So definitely worth playing with other people, so some people can enjoy the great visuals, I guess, on the system.
What you do is you get a group of 3 other people, you take straws, and you draw, and whoever gets a small straw has to play as Kirby, while everyone else gets to play as Waddle Dee or Bandit D or whatever, and enjoy the HD visuals.
It almost seems like the multiplayer that I've seen kind of seems like in New Super Mario Brothers, when you can draw on the gamepad, because it almost seems like you can sometimes be really helpful, but you could also kind of be incredibly, if you're not good at drawing the right lines at the right time, then you could like really tick people off by putting it at the wrong spot or something like that. So it kind of reminisce, I thought of New Super Mario Brothers when I thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do it to myself without even playing with other people. I like draw lines, and I'm like missing and falling into enemies on accident. It takes a little bit of coordination, actually. But definitely an interesting
one
game.
thing I just thought, so you guys that have played it can tell me whether I'm wrong or not, and I've not played Canvas Curse, so this is just coming from someone who's not a huge Kirby fan. Have only played a handful of Kirby games in my whole life, and have not played Canvas Curse, nor have I played Rainbow Curse. I've only seen videos, and both of those games, but especially Rainbow Curse, I feel like it could have been a different game altogether, like it didn't have to be a Kirby game. I think they just, I think I would have actually accepted it more if it wasn't a Kirby game. Because in my mind, Kirby is the type. I know we didn't do this in the very first game, but eventually he's swallowing enemies and taking other people's powers and jumping around, and is actually able to attack and everything. And he seems. I know it's a curse. I know he's been this curse has affected him as well. But he's just a little ball that's just rolling around and not able to do anything in this game except for what you're able to able to roll around on the lines that you draw, and occasionally he'll turn into something when the paintbrush says so. But it doesn't really seem like, it seems like Kirby's like a huge gigantic wimp in this game, and that's what kind of gets at me. And I'm not a huge Kirby fan, but if I was, I don't know if I could accept that, because I think Kirby could be what he has been in his previous games, and if he was, that would actually get me excited. If this is a typical Kirby game on Wii U that I could actually look at my TV and play a traditional platformer, I would probably have jumped on this. But because it, the style of drawing lines, and he pretty much just going along your lines and everything didn't really seem like what Kirby should be in my mind. I think they could have made it a new IP and slapped some other thing on there, and it'd been really cool. But I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. I think
they could have done that, but one thing you have to understand with Kirby is Kirby, like Mario has the main series, whether you count 2D and 3D separate or not, and then you got like the Mario RPG series, the Mario and Luigi series, Mario Sports series. There's all these different branch offs. Kirby's always been that same way. He's got his main platform series. He's got Kirby's Dream Land 1, 2, and 3. He's got Superstar. He's got Triple Deluxe. But Kirby has always been an experimental character. I mean, his third game was Kirby's Pinball Land. His fifth game was Kirby's Block Ball. His sixth game was Star Stacker, and just went from there. I mean, Kirby's Mass Attack, well, yes, it's a platformer. It was an experimental platformer. Canvas Curse and Rainbow Curse are both experimental. Even Kirby's Epic Yarn, which was supposed to be a completely different franchise with King or Prince Fluff, they said, oh, we could put Kirby in there because he's always been an experimental character like that. And a lot of those experimental games, Black Ball's fantastic, Star Stacker's fantastic, Rainbow Curse and Canvas Curse are both fantastic. Mass Attack is as well. Like, that's just how he's been. So you have to look at it as two different branches, his platform self and his experimental self. Because if you look through the history, there's tons of games with Kirby where all he is rolled up into a ball. But he can still do his standard dash. Like even this, if you tap him, he will dash forward. So he can still attack. He's not a wimp. He will, eliminate enemies.
He's just slightly better than a wimp. No, and that's one of the reasons why I prefaced it with that I'm not a huge Kirby fan, so I don't know the history of all those experimental things. Like the majority of the games, all the games that I've played with Kirby in it have all been his traditional platform games, and so I'm thinking, this guy needs to be sucking up enemies and taking powers and just like giving it to his enemies, not just like rolling around this puny little ball the whole time. This is boring for him. Not necessarily boring as a game, but boring for him, it seems like. But yeah, I guess I don't know the entire history of Kirby, so accept my apologies, all you Kirby fans out there.
Honestly, I would give it a shot. I mean, definitely. I know on the Virtual Console there's some of his more experimental games out there, and they're all really good. But with Rainbow Curse, or if you don't want to go Rainbow Curse, track down Canvas Curse, give it a shot. It's really a unique game, and it's got a cult following, and there's a reason for it. I mean, yeah, you could slap anybody on their Ball Man, now with rainbow drawings, and it would be the same. But the charm is that it's set in Kirby's world, and there's unique takes. Like Wispy Woods, who's a classic villain and boss of Kirby since the original Dreamland, he's in this game, and you have to use different tactics using the rainbow brush to defeat him. And that's where the experimental, it's not just experimental on Kirby, it's experimental on his entire world, and everything is affected by it. So it's really cool to see how that happens.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of kind of agree with what Greg was saying there. It's sort of the gameplay may kind of differ from game to game, but it's the charm of Kirby that kind of stays through all throughout. Like Kirby's Epic Yarn was so different, but it was so adorable and charming. And this game is kind of a different art style and different play style, but it also has that Kirby feel to it somehow. So it's definitely kind of interesting. And if the game sounds interesting to anyone, we did want to make a little announcement as well to say that sometime soon, hopefully in the next few days, on our Facebook page, we will be giving away a digital copy, a digital code for Kirby and the Rainbow Curse for Wii U. So if you have not liked us on Facebook, go to Facebook, type in NintendoFuse, go find us, go like NintendoFuse, and get ready because we're going to have that contest pretty soon. Apparently my audio is cutting out. Let's see. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I think you're better. I think you're a little better now. I can go ahead and just for the sake of like making sure everybody heard it. We're giving away a canvas or a rainbow curse, and so all you gotta do is like our Facebook page. We'll be posting a whole lot more information. Mike, our social media manager, is gonna be kind of posting out some information about that soon, and so you guys can make sure you know all about our contest here to give away a copy of Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. And it's going to be available on our Facebook page. So if you haven't liked our Facebook page, go do it now. It's NintendoFuse. It's facebook.com/NintendoFuse. Go do it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Sorry guys, I've been trying to play around with I got a new Yeti microphone. I was excited to use it for the podcast and everything. I switched back to my phone for the audio here, so hopefully that's going to be better. No more cutting in and out or anything. So yeah, Facebook page for that giveaway. So stay tuned for that. So that brings us then to our last topic for the day, and that is Amiibo. So Amiibo is basically the little figures that you can get, and you can use them in many different games. And yeah, I mean they're super hard to find. Some of them, it's crazy how collectible some of them are. Steve has got some right there. So how's it going with your Amiibo collections, guys?
I have some. Here's 4 of them. These are and then I got some more. Hold on. I got Mario, and then I've got, where is he? There's Pikachu. So I got Mario, Pikachu, Fox, Link, and as you saw, Luigi and Yoshi. And then just the other day, I got these in the mail from Barry. Sent them over. So I have now Sonic and Mega Man. I haven't opened them yet. But those are thanks to Barry. You're awesome picking those up. They're getting those shipped to you for me, actually for yourself, and then giving them to me. I have Rosalina, and I have Sheik, and currently I have Bowser, but I think I'm gonna end up taking him back, just because I grabbed him because I thought maybe he might be harder to find, and then I realized he's not hard to find at all. So I do have the Amiibo Super Mario series of Bowser already ordered, and I'm going to try to collect all that series. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take back Bowser because I don't really need him or want him from the Smash Brothers series. So yeah, in the end, I'll have, like maybe, I don't know, a quarter of the Smash Brothers series, maybe not even that, because I just decided I'm only going to grab the ones that I really want to have, and then I'm going to try to collect all the Super Mario series. So that's my little collection.
Nice. What about you, Greg?
I'm currently up to 16, I think, of the 28 or so released Smash Brother ones. I don't have them with me, but I did bring up this picture on my iPad that I posted on Twitter earlier. So got pretty much all the ones I have: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Zelda, Bowser, Captain Falcon, Marth, Mega Man, Ike, Samus, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Yoshi, Pikachu. I think that was about all of them, I think. Yeah, thanks to also Barry, he got me Ike, so I got that one a few days ago. My Mega Man came in today. I was really happy about that. I had pre-ordered Mega Man back in December, and it just I've been seeing everybody else opening up theirs and getting it, and I'm like, come on, GameStop, where's mine? And they're like, oh, it'll be on the 13th. Okay, sweet. Oh no, sorry, the 20th. Oh darn, 25th. Oh, come on. But no, it actually came in 2 days earlier than they last said, so just happy I finally got him.
That's cool.
And I have Shulk pre-ordered for when he's re-released in May, and then I also have Yoshi from the Mario series also reserved, just because I don't want to have to erase my Yoshi Amiibo data from Smash Brothers.
Cool. These two, actually, I was going to shout out, not that it really matters, to my local Target. That's actually where I found both of these. This Rosalina, actually, I was walking in one day and I heard that she was supposed to be out, and so I was like, went in there, I was like looking around, nothing. I was like, okay, I guess I missed it or whatever. Then as I was like getting ready to walk out of the video game section, a guy's like, "Oh, what are you looking for?" I'm like, just kind of browsing." He's like, "You want Rosalina?" I'm like, sure. He's like, "I got a box over here of them," and so he gave me one of them. So that was cool. And then just the other day, I was just happened to be just walking through the same Target, and there's one Sheik on the shelf that no one had grabbed, so I went and grabbed it. So kind of lucked myself into both of those. So that was kind of cool.
Nice. What about you, Barry?
One real quick. When I went to go get my Mega Man, I did see a Sheik and a Toon Link on the shelf, so I was very impressed. I didn't get either of those because those weren't ones that I'm eager to collect. I don't need them all, and so I'm not really going after every single one that I find.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth whether I want to actually keep Sheik or not, because I didn't really want her. Spoiler alert for those that didn't know, it was a she. But who doesn't know that now? But I might try to resell it online, just to actually afford the others. I'm not looking to get like a ton of money out of it, but I'm just like, if I'm going to be able to sell it online like other people and just match the same price that people are expecting to pay, then maybe I could afford 2 more. So I might do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to hold on to it or not yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, Sheik's pretty rare, I think. So, if anything, you could easily, get back the money or whatever if you wanted to sell it or something. Barry, what about you?
Like you, Hassan, I am, trying to beat you to everyone, and we completed our collection of Wave 1, 2, and 3 at the exact same time, thanks to Meta Knight coming out the 20th. I don't have them all here in front of me because that's just too many to carry. I do have all of Super Mario series pre-ordered twice. And that's how I do mine. I pre-order from 2 different retailers when available, just in case one screws up, because I was part of the big Toys R Us fiasco in Wave 3 where they canceled all my pre-orders. So I was almost shit out of luck, and that's how I wound up with extra. And you guys are welcome. I'm glad I was able to get you guys the ones you want, because I know they are hard to find. No word yet on the gold Mario, Super Mario, but I do have that pre-ordered at Walmart. And hoping that's how we get it. And Wave 4 of Smash Brothers is still not available for pre-order, and from what I heard, it may not go up for pre-order. So I do have some connections at GameStop that are hopefully, crossing fingers, going to hold me one of every one. But I guess time will tell.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. Like Barry said, so I have all of Wave 1 through 3 of Smash Brothers, and each one got increasingly more difficult to collect. And what I had done is I pre-ordered them all on Amazon. Now Amazon has so far, at least for me, been pretty good about not canceling my orders. Their only thing is sometimes they release the items a bit later. So what I do is if I find them in stores, I'll buy it and cancel my Amazon pre-order or something. Like when I went to get Rosalina, I also picked up Toon Link, so then I canceled that one and etc. So that's kind of the way that I've sort of been going about it, and then of course all the retailer exclusives as well. So I had those pre-ordered at each individual place. The Wave 4 Smash Brothers things, I thought I read the other day that on the Japanese Amazon or someplace they were up for pre-order. So I'm wondering if they'll start to pop up soon, or I'm thinking maybe after closer to, because we have the Super Mario series of Amiibo, and then maybe they'll release Wave 4 of Smash Brothers or something. So maybe they'll try and push that back or something like that. I don't know, but I have the Super Mario series pre-order on Amazon, except for Mario, because I'm waiting to see what's going on with that, I guess.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that they'll put Wave 4 of Smash Brothers after the Mario Party one. They want to keep it as is. But I think the biggest problem with Wave 3, and the same thing happened with Wave 2, is that Wave 2, the release dates were all over the place. Wave 3 was like that as well, except it seemed to be retailer specific. I was able to get from Amazon, Mega Man, Sonic, Sheik, Toon Link, Ike, King DDD, all well before, like over a week before Toys R Us, and over like 2 weeks before GameStop got them. Like it's so weird. Like each retailer has a different release date, and I don't know if it has to do with that West Coast port strike, which I heard is now done with. If it does, then I hope no more confusion with this. And if it doesn't, Nintendo needs to learn one release date for every retailer so we know where to go and when.
Yeah. Yeah, I went ahead and I've not been able to find them on Amazon at all. Like anytime I'm looking, it's always the people that are reselling them and everything. Every time I look on there, it's like not available, and I put my email address in there to like have them tell me when it's available. And I hear other people say, "Oh, it's available again," but they've never told me. And when I go there and it says not available, so I've just pretty much like all but gave up on Amazon. I'm still checking on occasion, but for the Super Mario series, I pre-ordered them all through Walmart, and they were all available. I went ahead and did all of them except for Mario because I was kind of holding out. And then when I heard the stuff about the gold one, I think the same as Barry and I, we both like, okay, we went ahead and pre-order the whole game with the Mario one, just in case they might say, hey, since you pre-ordered the whole thing, we're going to throw in the gold one there for you too. So I'm kind of just holding out on that. Like I said, I mean, it's going to deliver, I think, at the end of March. So if something else, like you guys, if something else pops up before then, maybe I'll go ahead and actually just cancel that pre-order. But it's kind of like my standby, I guess. And I know I definitely have them guaranteed through those.
Yeah, Amazon's weird with that whole notify me when available thing, because I put my email address in there. I did that for Mario Party 10 and Amiibo because that was initially sold out, and I did that with several other Amiibos, and I never got emails. The only time they ever emailed me was actually with Destiny Limited Edition and Witcher 3 Limited Edition. They actually did email me on, but anything Nintendo, they're like, nah, we're not going to bother.
Right. Well, the whole Amiibo situation is crazy when, like, Nintendo of Australia is importing Amiibo from other regions to sell there. Like that's crazy when they have to sell other region Amiibos, in a store. It's just, it's a mess. So hopefully Nintendo kind of straightens that out. We'll see. I don't know what they're gonna do. But the other thing that I wanted to also mention, kind of a news story that we sort of broke on NintendoFuse. The Toys R Us is supposedly going to be selling on ToysRUs.com these custom-painted Amiibo by this artist named Evilos. And so he's done a whole bunch of custom ones like a Cosmic Mario and all sorts of things. And he's going to be selling those through ToysRUs.com. So at least their negotiations are in place. So we'll have to kind of wait to see what comes of it and release date, prices, all that stuff. But it's kind of like, it seems almost unprecedented to me that like somebody's going to be selling their custom work through like a retailer like that. Like, I mean, it seems like it has to be like accepted by Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, they talked about it at their press, or not the press thing, but the stockholders meetings and stuff like that, of how they're going to allow their IP to be used by other people and stuff. And I didn't think this was going to be the case at all. I thought they were just meant they're going to get new TV shows and getting more plush characters and figurines and stuff like that out there. I had no idea that they would even allow this. And I think we've talked in private before about how I don't even know how it's possible that this is happening. It's kind of cool because I think some of their work is really cool looking and they're nice, but I don't know how this is really working.
Yeah, you would think that Nintendo needs to get a cut because they're profiting off of another company's IP, and not just an IP, but a manufactured product. So you would think that there has to be either some cut with Nintendo, or if not, Toys R Us is going to go ahead and do this. Nintendo's going to find out. They're going to get a cease and desist. They're going to be like one Toys R Us in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere that's going to release these things, and you're going to see them on eBay for like $5 million because there's going to be like 3 of them out there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. Totally off topic, but Steve mentioned the word TV show, and that completely reminded me of the live-action Legend of Zelda Netflix series. I don't think we ever discussed that on the podcast.
We have not talked about it here.
Nope.
I don't think we had a podcast since then. No.
So I was so shocked about that. I was not expecting that. What are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably gonna get me to sign up for Netflix again. They keep putting out their shows, like when they did the Arrested Development 4th season, got me to sign up for Netflix again. Watched it, and then canceled my subscription, and then I'll probably sign up for it again because I'm a sucker for Zelda. So they could probably put anything on their Nintendo, and I would sign up for it again. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think especially because people have been asking for something live action Zelda for a long time, a movie or something like that. I think it's cool. I think this type of a show could be really fun. You get like Game of Thrones is obviously huge. So in my mind I kind of see this as a Game of Thrones but more family friendly. And so that could be a pretty cool thing, I guess, for Nintendo to really grab a hold of that kind of audience that don't watch Game of Thrones or any of those other type of shows like that, because this could be something that families to watch together. And I think the scariest thing is the fact that they're going to have to give Link a voice, right? I mean, he can't be the silent protagonist in a TV show, can he?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure, just because it's a fresh, like, new kind of thing in a way for Nintendo, like a live action Zelda series on Netflix. Like, it's just the way that they're gonna have to approach that. It's gonna be different than what they've had to do before. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. But I have no idea what they're gonna do with it. It's gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah, as a Zelda fan, I'm ecstatic about it because it's about time. Nintendo, as a child of the '80s, Nintendo was all over whoring themselves out everywhere. I mean, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, the Zelda Show, Captain N, Super Mario World, and then the Nintendo Serial System, and Nintendo here, and Nintendo there, and then the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out, and that all went to shit. And I love the movie. I think it's a cult classic. It's so bad, it's good kind of way. And ever since then, the only thing we've gotten since that is, I believe, the Donkey Kong Country CGI show came after, which was from Canada, which is actually available at a pre-order right now on Amazon on DVD, believe it or not. And Kirby Right Back at Ya. Outside of that, we've gotten nothing. There was supposed to be a Metroid movie, and I think Quentin Tarantino had it, or Del Toro had it, or somebody had it, and that fell through. And like, Nintendo needs to be more relevant with that. They need to get their properties out there. They've stated in one of the later investor meetings that they were going to do that. I hope this is a sign. I hope more will go out, and I kind of hope that I definitely hope he's not silent, but I kind of hope they throw in at least one "excuse me, princess" in the first season, just as a nod. They have to, just one.
If this happens once, I'll be okay with it. But if it happens all the time, no.
You were reading my mind, Barry. I was hoping that they would use that.
Yeah, there you go. See, you gotta.
It's interesting because I thought maybe we would see something further with the Pikmin shorts. I thought maybe those would turn into something longer. I figured that would happen before an actual live action Zelda. Like that was the furthest, probably one of the furthest things that I thought would ever happen, especially in the near future. And I mean, we still have hardly any details on it whatsoever. So I mean, it might be coming out like 5 years from now. We don't really know. They might just be in the very, very, very early talks about it, or they could be, already in pre-production. I don't really know. But it's interesting because it is the furthest thing that I thought would happen.
Well, I don't think Nintendo's commented on it yet, so it could actually still technically be speculation and rumor, and that could have just been an article with some, information under the whispered to them that they decided to throw out there, and the internet took it by storm. And it's kind of weird that Nintendo has not commented about it because it did go up by storm. So they kind of got to announce something without actually having to announce it and see the world's reaction to it, like kind of testing the water, where they're at a place where they go, oh, if it's a bad decision, we didn't do it. But if it's a good decision, oh yeah, that was our genius completely, all us, and they haven't said a thing yet, which is just weird.
Well, you know how Nintendo's like decided to pick up this whole thing with partnering with a lot of these YouTubers nowadays. So I'm like, I wonder if they're actually going to go to some of those people that have made their own like little trailer things and say, okay, we want you to be kind of insight on this project. That would be really cool because I think some of those are excellent. Some are really bad, but a couple of them are really top quality, and that'd be really cool. It'd be a really cool nod to them. I don't think it's going to happen, but it just just crossed my mind since I know that Nintendo has this thing with a bunch of YouTubers nowadays.
Well, they did shut down the Hero of Hyrule movie right after it was launched, so.
Maybe because they were saving it because they knew what was going to happen.
Conspiracy. Well, I mean, it was reported by Wall Street Journal, and they're pretty, I guess, reliable and stuff. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see whenever Nintendo decides to officially sort of say anything, I guess. But anyways, that was a really big side tangent there. Amiibo. So anything else you guys kind of wanted to add to the whole Amiibo craze? I mean, I know it's been the biggest thing lately is just tracking them down has been so difficult. As far as like upcoming games, anything else that your thoughts like on Amiibo? Anyone?
I think they definitely need to up the production and give like actual release dates. I think that would help calm some of the craze down a bit, and it wouldn't give the power to the scalpers for making these limited edition Amiibos that there's only 100 of them made. At least it only seems like there's only that many because it seems like as soon as they're in stock, that they're out of stock. But I mean, I followed like the Amiibo tracker thing, and you see like it says, oh, Sheik's in stock, and then like 6 minutes later, Sheik is out of stock. It's like there's obviously demand for it, and I don't know why the production numbers are so low. And I don't like this whole non-discrete release date because then you don't know when to go to the store and when to expect them to even come out. So I hope going forward that they'll have more concrete information.
Well, see, the thing about that, the thing about that is that's not an actual Nintendo problem. That's Nintendo of America. And this stems back to an article I wrote on NintendoFuse about Nintendo of America, because all these Amiibo, like Shulk and Rosalina and Lucario, they're all readily available in Japan. They're all readily available in Europe. Nintendo of America is the only region. They did this with the limited editions and the collector's editions of their games. And it's just, I don't understand how you can run a company, have a product that is so in demand that you're selling out mere minutes every time it goes up, and not be producing this like crazy. Like, there's that old gif of, Iwata holding up the DS, and it's like, it prints money, it prints money. Amiibos are freaking printing money, and they're not printing Amiibos. I mean, it baffles me. If I had a product that I make at 50 cents an Amiibo, because let's be honest, they make them really cheap in China, and I'm selling them for $13-14 a piece, and they can't stand on the shelves. That's such a huge. I'd just be producing. I'd spend all day just making them, and they're not. And that's what boggles my mind. How could you not be making these Amiibo? Clearly, there's a demand, and I don't think people are going to be satisfied with the cards because they want the figure.
Right.
Yeah. So, is it just the fact that, I mean, because I know not everybody wants the Amiibos to just actually they just like get their collection and everything. So why aren't people, if they're readily available in other countries, why aren't we just importing them? Because they're not region specific, are they?
No, they're not.
Well, the thing is, the Amiibo can be used in any region. Like I have my Amiibo used in my English Wii U game for Smash Brothers and my Japanese 3DS Smash Brothers. But a lot of collectors leave them in the packaging, and the packaging like it has like the English name and that sort of thing. So they want like consistency. because otherwise you import Bowser and you have like Koopa, you know, or the Japanese words. I think a lot of like collectors want to have like the consistent packaging as well.
So it's really just the collectors then, because like people like me that just I don't really care. I'm gonna unbox them anyhow. That I probably, if I wanted, if I didn't run across Rosalina, I probably could have imported her and been totally fine, and probably got her,
it would be the exact same thing.
Absolutely, mine for like $90.
It would be the exact same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'll also be paying like import fees and other taxes too. So I mean, there's that.
Well, unless you go through one of those online stores that kind of make that easier on you.
Yeah, there's some Amiibo you'd be surprised that it'd be cheaper to import than it would be to pay the current going prices for some of them, because some of them are even on like Amazon with like Prime shipping and stuff too, and I mean it's like $20-$25 or something for an Amiibo, but like for some of them that are pretty hard to find, I mean they can be more expensive than that on eBay. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and again, like I said, that's why it's a Nintendo of America thing. It's not Nintendo of Japan or Nintendo of Europe. Once again, Nintendo of America is just taking a piss on all of us, and we're trying to throw money instead of like running away and saying, "Ew, that's disgusting." We're just standing there getting pissed on, throwing more money, like give us more of your product, Please let us be one of the few that get it.
Yeah. And by the end of this whole thing with Smash Brothers, like anybody that's collected them all, like huge props to you. I'm gonna try and do it, but we'll see, how the rest of it goes, I guess. Yeah, let us know if you guys, if there's any Amiibo, if you're listening, post a comment or something. Let us know if there's any Amiibo that you've been, wanting to get and having trouble finding or anything like that. And share your Amiibo collection pictures on our Facebook page. And to our Twitter as well. We would love to see them, and to our Instagram. I guess all of our social media accounts. We'll kind of share them around, and it'd be really cool to see what everybody has. So I think with that being said, it's kind of time to wrap things up. Anything else you guys kind of want to add on new 3DS or Amiibo or anything else?
I've actually got two things really quick, and oddly enough, they kind of connect. Mentioned in the chat room, I know a couple of people were asking about the GameCube adapters. They were available at GameStop again, briefly, and I just happened to be watching Twitter when other people were saying, "Hey, they're available again," and I actually pre-ordered one. So I finally have one on GameStop from pre-order, and it's supposed to be here, I think, at the end of May. But if I happen to find one at PAX East, there's my transition to connect them together. Then I'm going to go ahead and cancel my pre-order. So in terms of PAX East, Nick and I will both be going to PAX East this year to cover it for NintendoFuse, and you can check out all of our stuff just on the site on NintendoFuse.com. We'll also be posting a lot of our kind of up-to-the-minute sort of stuff on Twitter and everything, but we'll be posting impressions, photos, videos, what we're checking out. Nintendo is supposed to be there this year, so they kind of go like every other year. They're going to bring in stuff like Splatoon, which I'm really excited about, and some other games as well. So we'll have hands-on impressions of those posted to the site, and a bunch of indie titles. They're going to be there as well. So we'll be kind of covering the entire event. So check out NintendoFuse.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, and we'll be kind of covering PAX East in just under 2 weeks away.
Cool. Sounds good. I'm definitely excited to see or hear more about Splatoon and the other games for sure. So yeah. Guys, check out NintendoFuse.com for all the latest. I know at least we were talking about Amiibo. I have my unboxing of all the recent Amiibo on there as well. Probably be doing more gameplay footage of Kirby and the Rainbow Curse soon also. So I'll probably try out the Mana Knight, King Dedede Amiibo and those and see how those are. So if there's anything else you guys want to see, let us know, and I'd be happy to try and get that for you. So thank you all so much for listening and watching, and we will see you next time. See you guys later.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Yeah.